Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 7 Premium British Cruiser, Belfast. She has 35,700 health, a top speed of 32.5 knots, 12 152mm guns, 8 secondary guns, a surface detect of 8.7 kilometers, and 55 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, reduce the chance of flooded fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, priority target, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, superintendent, demolition expert, inertia fuse, high explosive, and concealment again. We are on the map Neighbors, and I apologize for my voice. I am still sick. Hopefully this Belfast game will be enjoyable. The ranked games are really quick, so I'm just going to try and talk about what I would do in the Belfast and how I would counter the Belfast. The matchup is 3 battleships, 3 cruisers, and 1 destroyer per side. On North America, we don't have enough population for the matchmaker to make the perfect ranked game. We just don't. There's very few aircraft carriers sitting in the queue, and the ones that are, they're waiting forever. So most of the time, we've got a buttload of destroyers, a buttload of cruisers, or a buttload of battleships, or a combination of that 3. Now, as the Belfast, what are your strengths? Well, you've got smoke, and you've got radar. And you've got a really great rate of fire. You've got HE and AP. That's why I have inertia fuse high explosive. It just makes it better. It's a straight up better. And I am looking to get into a position to manipulate the island and engage the enemies. This isn't new. All Belfast I've ever run into, that's exactly what they're doing. They're racing towards an island. They're going to set themselves up right next to it and pop their smoke and just sit in it. And ask all their teammates, please detect for me. Now, I recognized the destroyer was moving towards B point, and I stopped and tried to pop my smoke, but it wasn't quick enough. The enemy Shothouse did a great play here, and he punished me, and that's exactly what you do. I don't care if you have half a second. You fire, trying to make sure you have benefit of that accuracy. So we popped our smoke, we're hitting it, and I'm also using radar, because I saw that there was a destroyer within 8.5 of my ship. I am not passing that up. And we, of course, detect him out in the open. What can he do? He could pop his smoke. Radar does not last that long, and as long as he is aware of his angling against the target, and it's only 1 or 2 targets, he could address them safely and remain in the smoke. The positioning that the enemy Mahan chose to do is pop his smoke, sail too fast outside of it, and then radar was irrelevant at that point. But he was afraid, I know. But if you are given a chance, allow the radar to go away. Have a plan once radar is over, either in smoke, in islands, distance, you name it. That is your plan. It will end, I promise you, it will end. The night is darkest just before the dawn, and radar is the darkness. He probably should have recognized I was there when the Scharnhorst saw me on the other side of the island, and he should have broken off going for B. Instead, he should have used the island that I have right in front of me to line of sight my ship from his. That would have at least kept him alive. And now the game is awkward, right? Both destroyers are dead. There are nobody other than cruisers and battleships, and generally, cruisers and battleships don't want to play the objective, right? Everyone has run into this weird scenario where they're like, someone go for the objective? I will gladly go for the objective. So I went for A point. I'm going to keep the island in between my ship and the enemy battleships and the cruisers. I don't know why my friendly battleships are so passive, but I feel pretty confident in the deployment of the enemy that I'm not overextending. My smoke is almost up, but mainly I'm relying on the island to block it. And I was so frustrated that I didn't get any fires on the target. But look at what this guy does. Astronaut Jesus backs up into line of sight. Now, I stuck with inertia fuse high explosive. He appears, at least at first, to be angling away from me, making the angle more harsher. The AP is probably going to bounce, and it's probably not going to do as much damage as just sticking with HE. And I'm glad I did. I mean, look at his positioning now. We probably would have missed out on 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 damage, maybe even more. But because of his positioning, we're able to at least assist in his destruction. And I'm still in a really, really great position. The enemy team, quite frankly, should try and punish my ship. I'm out in the open. They need to push aggressively into me. I will be popping my smoke if they try to. Maybe a battleship can get cheeky shot behind the island, far away. I imagine that most of these guys can fire on my position if I can fire on them. That's also a possibility. But they're so distracted in going after the Nagato and the Gneisenau and the other Belfast that they're just throwing themselves at my team. I still have radar, I still have hydroacoustic, I still have my smoke, and I choose to use my radar just to get an idea. No funny business, right guys? No funny business, of course. Some of them I don't have a line of sight on. I don't have it at all. So I have to move forward. But these guys, the Belfast doesn't have torpedoes. It doesn't have a heel. Every damaging shot you do to the Belfast means something. So if you ever get a chance, trade with it. This enemy Miyoko, I don't know what he's looking at. He's just... These guys are completely oblivious to the idea that there could be someone at A point. He's not the only one, you know, all of the enemy is doing this. But since he's being so kind and sailing directly in front of me, I'm going to switch to AP, and of course, it doesn't do as much as I want. I switch right back to inertial fuse high explosive, and it's going to get me what I need. There is a battleship coming, so I do decide to use my smoke. And he gets a couple secondaries on me. I think he might have gotten one or two of his main battery. He should definitely look to send his torpedoes. The enemy Fiji is so close that he can use his hydroacoustic, which is good. He should probably try and do that. Maybe get on one side of the island, use his hydroacoustic if he has an idea of where I'm located, and have a battleship or a cruiser from long range on my flank just try and make me move. But since he's so aggressively pushing forward, I've got to angle, switch to AP, and try and punish. That's my goal in the Belfast against the Fiji. Of course, once he angles, my AP is not effective. I should have just stuck with the inertial fuse high explosive Notser. It's going to do it. Unfortunately, my friendly takes 3 torpedoes. And he dies. Now, he died for me because those torpedoes... Now, granted, they were for the battleship, but if he was not there, I would have taken those torpedoes. But yeah, the problem with the Belfast is that it requires more skill to counter than to play. And what does that mean? Well, I can just sail, set up at a corner in an island position, have smoke ready to go, be within 8.5 of my enemy, and guarantee that I'm going to get a kill or 2. Be high damage for my team. Be the annoyance. The enemy team, in order to counter the Belfast, needs to get a flank, either with torpedoes or with intel, and you need to be able to hit your shots, even if you're given 3 to 5 seconds of visibility. That enemy battleship over there probably could hit me, the other one. That enemy shot horse that's much higher than his friend. But he's probably not going to go after me because people don't really treat the Belfast as the priority target. A lot of times I've ingrained in you, and I'm glad you follow it, that when you see the destroyer, you kill the destroyer. Well, when you see the Belfast, you kill the Belfast. And yeah, he's actually going to get a shot on me. And he was kind of sneaky here. I got kind of lucky. I got very lucky. Notice, this is all sticking. The enemy has probably spent less than a minute on me. If more of the enemy would have concentrated their efforts, forced me into a more defensive posture, I would have probably been way less effective in the game. They did not. They did not do that, and it was a very easy DPS game for me. And as far as the Belfast is concerned, you want to try and make sure that you're within 8.5 of any destroyers or anything that might be hidden from your team, you know, in smoke. Give that intel. If you're given a chance to kill a destroyer, use the radar for the destroyer. Don't stray too far away from islands unless you can guarantee that you're at a good positioning against the enemy. Defensively, If they ever allow you to see them, fire at them. I don't care if it's not a precise shot. You need to just get damage on the target. Make him move from smoke. Send torpedoes. Get flank for vision and also to punish. In this game, we did pretty well. We earned Confederate, Close Quarter Expert, First Blood, High Caliber, 4 kills, 135,000 points of damage done, 2,410 base XP. 4 kills, of course. And why is that? We were behind an island and nobody tried to come and punish us. But when they made an attempt, we dropped really quickly. This is just a ship you respect. Whenever you see it, punish it. Keep the radar, the smoke in mind, 8.5, try and flank it, gather intel, send torpedoes. I know it has hydroacoustic, but it still has to move to avoid the torpedoes. Make it uncomfortable, and you'll have more success. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.